We're Inhumanity from Columbia, South Carolina. This is Double Digit Fun by Inhumanity from Columbia, South Carolina. Would there be more of like a synergy between us and you if everybody stood up? Cool. Alright. Okay, Teenage Suicide Do It by Inhumanity from Columbia, South Carolina. This song that we're going to do is kind of about the situation that we have in our state right now that everybody's really familiar with, but we're just going to talk about it anyway. A while back there was this rally at the State House, and it was a bunch of people come out to show their support for the Confederate, Rebel, Dukes of Hazzard, whatever flag that's flying on the State House, right? They get 500 people to come out, and it's 500 rednecks and Klansmen and neo-Nazis and whatever. So those people come out, and they're all there to show their support for their heritage. But the thing that's kind of unspoken in the South is what that heritage is all about, and what the Confederacy was all about, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, they held this rally and 500 people showed up. Well, a few months later, they held another rally on the same spot, and this rally was for a different thing. This was for a man by the name of Sylvester Adams that most of you probably know about. But he was a man who was on death row, and he was about to be executed. And the thing about his case was that it never came out during his trial that he was mentally retarded because he was too poor to receive adequate defense. Most people in the state that are poor get shuffled through the justice system, and Beasley and all his cronies wanted to set an example of how they're getting tough on crime. So like, we're gonna kill this guy. So anyway, they held this rally, and they were like, you know, don't do this. Don't let the state arbitrarily decide who's gonna live and who's gonna die, because it's always a biased decision, right? Well, the rally's held and 50 people show up out of the entire state. Now, you have 50 people to come out to save this human being's life, and you have 500 people come out to show their support for this flag. And it's the same flag that for the last 100 years has flown over lynchings in the backwoods, it's flown over church burnings, and it flew over Sylvester Adams' execution. The flag is still there, and Sylvester Adams is still dead. So we kind of wrote a song about how screwed up people's priorities are in this state. Really, people's priorities are screwed up everywhere. This is about South Carolina and that flag and the execution. It's called Southern Swastika. Summer is magic. This is called Portion of a Murder Mystery. It's about a portion of a murder mystery by Inhumanity from Columbia, South Carolina. Are you all right? All right. That was a good one. Hi. Summer's magic. 30 faces. Okay. Embrace androgyny.
Alright, let's go.
York side of the farce. This one is about the hardcore reality, living on the streets on the Lower East Side. This one's for the war zone women. And give a big shout out to my boy Edwin at the blue chair.
If any of you motherfuckers know the words, you want to sing along.
And justice for all.
All right, this one again is for everyone at the blue chair. Shout out. Why am I going insane? Why am I want to flame? Whoa! Jay, do we have time for one more?
On the video, David. That's his last stand.
Want to do one more? Okay. All right, let's compromise.
Right on. This song is for people who like it. That's right on.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming.
Not that we would want to at all, but we couldn't like tour around like in big clubs. Like we have no desire to. Nobody would be interested in what we had to say. Like
Yeah, and bars
broad
would lose
scale.
a lot of money.
Yeah, the bars would lose a lot of money. But so the alternative to that is kind of what we did. Like when we went around the country, is there's a whole network of kids that like all talk to each other, and they all like do shows like in houses and basements, and like we played at like a couple of churches. That was really cool, one was like a church/soup kitchen, and
And you got a bunch of free food.
yeah, and everybody there sort of takes care of you. Like they like give you a place to stay and they feed you, and it's really like grassroots kind of thing, and it's really amazing that in America, like a band like ours has that opportunity where we can go around, you know, and see like this whole like beautiful country and like meet all these amazing people and like tell people like our ideas and relate to them. But with this song "Stupid Children," it's kind of about this gangster mentality that's like going around, like where people are like trying to act all like tough and macho, and it kind of hit home when we were in Tacoma, Washington. We played this show, and there were these two suburban white kid like gangster wannabes that I guess like listened to one too many Eazy-E records or something and thought they were all like tough, and like they came to the show, and the only reason they came was because they wanted to beat up like some punk rockers or something. So anyway, they're out in front hanging out, and they were drinking these 40s all day long and just harassing girls all day. And anyhow, once they got enough liquor in them, they thought they were gonna like start some shit. So they went around to all these people, and they're like getting in their face, like yo, you punk ass motherfucker, you want to start some shit with me? Like just like getting, you know, like acting all tough and like, you know, flashing, and like the other guy was like going like this, making motions like he had a gun on him or something, which it turns out he didn't, but they were just like all acting like you know, ready to go, and like just, you know.
He came back later and he's like, I've got a gun, I'll use it and stuff like that. And like when it all come down, he goes, I don't have a gun.
but anyway, so they're like going around, and this went on for like an hour. They're like, you know, hassling all these people, and everybody's just kind of laughing at them because they're idiots. Well, after about an hour, a whole circle of people formed around them, and they're like going up to everybody in the circle, like myself included, like getting like way up in their face, like yo, you punk rocker, you want to start some shit, and so they went around, and they finally went to this one guy, and this had gone on so long, and the guy pushed him, and that was like all it took. The dude went ballistic and like was just punching, like beating the hell out of him, and knocked his front tooth out. And anyway, his buddy comes along. There were these two guys. His buddy comes along, and he has like a 40 that's full, and he goes to try and crack it over the guy's head. And another guy takes him out and gets him to the ground. It's like just wailing on him because everybody's sick of these guys by this point. And like people were going in and like just kicking him, and like so we kind of like try to push everybody away because, you know, enough was enough. Well, the guy that got knocked to the ground like busted his head open on the pavement and was knocked out. So he's laying there on the ground, and his buddy, the guy that started everything, that was like, you know, talking on the trash, like ran up, and he's holding his tooth in his hand. He's like, "Why are you doing this? Stop it! Like, stop it!" And he's like crying, and then he just like leaves his friend, takes off. His friend's laying there on the ground, and this was probably pretty mean, but I ran up and took a picture of him, like, you know, to save like the memory. And like the guy that was standing next to him like looked up and was like, "Dude, why did you do that?" And so anyway, they called the ambulance, and the ambulance came, and the kid's mom came, and like she was all crying, like, "My baby." And
Mom was upset.
Right, and they took him away, and we just kind of laughed about it. We're like, well, I guess those guys learned their lesson, that like you don't go and try and start a fight with 200 kids. You know, that's stupid. But sadly, about half an hour later, the kid came back in a pickup truck with 5 other guys, and they all had baseball bats, and they're like, "Where's the guy that beat up our friend? We're gonna go bust a cap on his ass!" Like, they're like, "We're gonna shoot him." And somebody that was there just goes like, "Well, I think he went that direction," and they like peeled out, like took off, just like.
And while it was happening, this guy comes up, and he had not heard anything. He's like, had been inside the whole time. And didn't know anything about this. Just comes out and sees the argument, and he comes over. He's like, "Hey man, break it up." He's like, "Don't you know that we need to have unity? We need to be together, man, and tear down this system. Like, and you're hurting it. You're the ones who are causing the problems.
There's separation and segregation. Look what it's caused."
and so like I guess this guy had this gangster type mentality that related to the other guy with the gangster mentality, and he's like, "Yeah, man, yeah." and then they put songs and it's like, so it's gonna be cool, right, bro? And as it's taken away, he goes, now see, man, go home and take your man, get him stoned, get him drunk, and it'll be all right. And I'm thinking, that's why this happened in the first place. This guy is a drunk idiot and wanted to fight with everybody. Yeah, take him home and get him a 40.
Oh, and then of course the cops came,
Help him out.
and it was like another example of punk rock violence, right? And they wanted to shut the show down. And it was like had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with like these two like dumb, idiots that wanted to like beat up 200 people. Because a lot of people like have these politics that they try to live their lives by, but and they're really self-righteous about it, and they're in your face, like shoving it down your throat. But at the same time, they make hypocrites out of themselves because they say one thing and then they do another, and instead of like their interests lying and trying to like work for any kind of positive change, they're really into collecting toys and things like that.
It's like a big fan.
Right. And so we wrote this song about that. And it was called Dork Side of the Fars. It's about like all these vegan kids that collect Star Wars toys, and unbeknownst to them, Kenner, the company that makes Star Wars toys, tests at this place, Biotech, in Pennsylvania, that's like the worst animal testing facility in the country. And like the testing they do there is totally illegal. And so we kind of wrote the song as a joke, but then when we played it, like these kids got so upset about it and were coming up to us after the show like, that's not true about the toys, is it? Like they couldn't believe it, and we kind of laughed at like, that's silly, but then it struck us that nobody ever talked to us about like the other things we were singing about. Yeah. And they just came up and asked us about like the Star Wars figure song, and then we found out like halfway through our tour that it was on the internet and everybody was talking about it, and we like followed us around, like people were coming up like man, that's not true about the Star Wars figures, is it? And we're like, yeah, that's just it proved our point that like that's all people care about is just like very trivial things. Like if you align yourselves with a movement that is like trying to make a positive change, but then like your life revolves around collecting toys, that's kind of silly. Entertainment is probably like far down on the list.
Yeah, well, I don't like consider like us like entertainers. Like I'm sure you're the same way, but it's just like we play music, because it's something that we love doing and we have fun. And like while we're doing it, if we're gonna be talking to people, we're gonna use that time to talk about something that means something to us. I mean, too many songs that are
because every rock and roll song has been written, and every punk rock song has been written too, but at least when we get up and make asses of ourselves and are screaming our heads off and acting like fools, there's like we mean something behind it.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to sing about how mad the flag on top of the State House makes them, I'll listen to it all day long instead of like their girlfriend breaking up with them or their drug habit.